Dusty, who are you starting tomorrow?
Uh,
Or game six?
we haven't decided yet.
And then today with Alvarez, he did some stuff against Sale that few left-handed hitters have ever done. I guess what did you see from his approach, and just what does he mean to your lineup?
Well, he's a big boy in the middle, and he was just attacking. He was ready to swing, and nobody else could hit him. But Alvarez had him, and if you have one guy in the lineup that comes up at the right time, it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, Chris Sale is one of the best pitchers, around, and has been for years. He was throwing 95 to 97, throwing better than he was last time we saw him. And so I'm just glad we had Alvarez, tonight, because whenever Sale got in trouble, he found a way to strike guys out, all except Alvarez.
McTaggart. Dusty, how was Framber able to put it all together after a couple of rough outings there in the playoffs?
Well, I don't know. It seems like he put it behind him, and he had Maldi directing him. Maldi would get on him at the right time, and he was throwing strikes. He had a good tempo going. He threw. He didn't mess around. Forcing that breaking ball like he had the last couple starts, and then getting behind. And he was attacking the strike zone, and his pitch count was very, very low. He only got in trouble a couple times, and then, like I've always said, that sinker can get you out of trouble, with 2 outs and on one pitch. And I think that happened 3 or 4 times, and I don't know how many he turned, but I know we turned at least 3, possibly 4.
Big Apple.
Dusty, what does it say about Alvarez as a hitter that he does so much damage going to the opposite field?
Well, you got to stay on the ball, number one, and he hits the ball to opposite field and it stays straight. It doesn't have a slice on it, and everybody knows he can pull the ball, but he also has power, the other way, and he's only going to get better. Like last year at this time, we didn't have Alvarez. And, we came close to going to the series last year without Alvarez, and now we have Alvarez. We're very, very grateful and thankful that we have him, and he's worked exceptionally hard, to keep his legs, together. When you had both knees operated on, we didn't know how much playing he's going to do or if he's going to be able to play the outfield, so that's a tribute to him. The fact of, how hard he's worked, and he's continued to work to keep the strength there, and, and he's feeling more and more confident, in his body, and more confident in his stroke.
Danielle.
When a pitcher is dealing like Framber was tonight, between innings, do you prefer to kind of leave him alone to do his own thing? Are you trying to encourage him a little bit? How do you manage that?
No, we leave him alone anyway, and, if a guy's dealing, you just let him keep dealing. If he's not dealing, then, you got to make some adjustments. The pitching coaches will talk to him. Some of the, like Carlos would talk to him. He got out of whack that one time, when I went to the mound, because invariably, he had a no-hitter. Everybody know he had a no-hitter. And then they get a hit, and then he hits the batter. And then that's the time when you really got to settle them down and just, take the air out the ball, because the crowd was about to get into it. And he threw up a double play pitch, and then he went back to dealing again.
What did you say to him on the mound?
I just call him Framboso. I say, hey, man, you're the best. And, man, just be natural and just do your thing.
Roger.
Danielle, I didn't say a whole bunch to him. It's kind of like you call a 20-second timeout in basketball, to kind of take the air out of the game. And so that was a 20-second timeout that probably took 15 seconds.
Yes, Roger.
I was going to ask about your mound visit, but instead, what did you say to the umpires there in the sixth? Was that about the light out there in center, or what was that about?
Yeah, because I know that Alex Cora had said something about the light out in center, and then he came over to me and said it really wasn't a light. It wasn't in anybody's eyes or point of vision or distracting it was some reflective tape that somebody had put out there, and so it looked like a light shining off the off the lights, but I didn't really see it. I didn't have the angle to see it.
Brian Smith.
Dusty, you guys were down 2-1 in this series. It was on the verge of being 3-1 before that Altuve home run in the 8th inning.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about your team's confidence all the time, but what did you see from your team at the end of Game 4 and then from the start to the finish today to where you guys were able to completely flip this series and now be one away from reaching the World Series?
Well, it started with some clutch hits last night. I think we were helped by a couple of walks and possibly an error. And then today it was in the hands of Framber. Like I said before the game, everybody talks about momentum, but momentum is controlled by the pitcher. If the pitcher's dealing, all the momentum's gone, and if the pitcher, has a rough outing, then you continue that momentum. So it was in the hands of the pitcher. This was, in the hands of Framber, and really in the hands of Alvarez. And then everybody else, contributed and chipped in, and ended up being 9-1.
Hey, Framber.
Dusty, you guys have had such a knack for two-out production. What is it about your approach in those moments that has led to such consistent success, and how important was it to have that tonight?
Well, it was very important to have it tonight. It's very important to have it every night if you can, but you can't get them when you want them. But the thing about it is you have to make contact. It's about contact. And if you're not making contact, you don't have any chance of getting those two-out hits. And if you put the ball in play, then anything can happen. And if you accept the walks, swinging at balls in the strike zone, then that puts runners on base, puts the pitcher in the stretch, and then potentially we have guys up and down the lineup that know how to drive them in.
Berman.
Dusty, I'm not going to ask you how good you feel, but how do you feel about things going back home up 3-2?
Well, I feel good. I don't feel great, and I won't feel great until we accomplish our goal. And I've been up a couple times 3-2. I was up 3-2 one time in Chicago, and going back to Wrigley with Kerry Wood and let me see,
Mark Pryor.
Oh yeah, and Mark Pryor pitching, and I was feeling confident at that time, but you got to get the job. You got to get the job done. You know what I mean? You can feel confident all you want to, but those guys over there, taking the last breath and the final life out of anything is, it's a tough rogues. They're going to fight you to the end. So it's just I feel good, but I don't feel great. Not yet.
Dusty, you said yesterday that it's too late for you to try and change the world, but having a starting pitcher go 8 innings in a playoff game isn't something we see very much. Is that refreshing to you to have that, not just as a manager and benefited by it, but as a baseball person, to see that back in the game?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it makes me feel great. The fact that, he went the third time around, which kind of dispelled some of the things. His pitch count was very low, which helped. A guy throwing double play pitches when you're getting 6 out on 3 pitches. I mean, that's 2 innings worth. On 3 pitches, that helps. When you do that, you don't have to strike anybody out. They're not going to fall off a bunch of pitches, which makes the pitch count go exceptionally high. And so, pounding the strike zone, and I know everybody can't throw ground balls or sinker, but they're teaching everybody to throw the ball up, in the zone. I mean, you get a lot of strikeouts, but you also, get a lot of pitches, and therefore you don't go deep in games too much.
Dusty, so Framber Valdez was your first starter to go beyond the 3rd inning this ALCS. How important is that for your team and for your bullpen?
It's very important, and then that puts us in pretty good, position in our bullpen, especially with a day off tomorrow. So a lot of these guys will have 2 days off, versus just 1 day off, and then you can, it's a 2-game series now, and so we're playing for a split, and we were hoping to come here, and because you're not going to come here usually and sweep the Red Sox. I know the Yankees did it in Tampa Bay maybe a couple times, but that's a very difficult thing to do. And winning 2 out of 3, that's the kind of the mantra of this team. Win series. And so now we're playing, for a split, and hopefully the split comes in the game 6.